Hey there, Mighty here. Today, we'll be going over all the tips and tricks to get you out of early game as fast as possible. Now, before we start this video, the wiki will be linked down below. Now, first piece of advice would be always save your resources, especially your pinecone in the early game, as you're going to need a lot of these for most of the good equipment in the second shop. Also, some people might be tempted, but don't use your diamond eggs. You're going to need it for your endgame mask. And you don't want to waste tickets on eggs. You're better off spending it on Pixel and Lucky P. The next thing is joining the group to use dispensers, especially the honey dispenser. It'll be crucial when you're just starting out the game, and it'll give you a nice head start. This goes for all dispensers. Most of them have a cooldown of 3 to 4 hours, but the higher tier ones have a cooldown of 6 to 8, and these rewards scale off badges. So the higher tier badges you get, the more rewards you're getting from your dispensers, and it stacks up really quickly. Now, I recommend no matter what, get as many bees as possible, at least until you get to the 15 bee zone, because it just opens up so many opportunities for you. Next will be the gears you want to get and which ones to avoid. Starting off, I definitely buy everything in the starter shop. Then in the advanced shop, skip a couple tools. Don't buy the Hive backpack, and then try buying most of the wasp gear if possible. After that is the red and blue shoulder guards. They're a really big upgrade from the previous ones, and they're going to help you a lot on your quest. What most people actually do is they get the blue hive tool, which summons ice after a couple swings, and then they get the fire boots, so you just walk over flowers, make them on fire, and then turn that into obsidian, which produces honey. I'd avoid getting the second shoulder guards, as they're really just a waste of resources, and you really just want to be saving up for the last ones. Whatever color tool you try getting, just make sure you get the same backpack as well. And then after you get your guard, start aiming for the higher tier backpack. It's going to be a grind, but if you do the obsidian method, you'll be fine. Just keep gradually going for it while you're doing your quest. Sprinkler wise, I recommend getting the first one, skipping the second, and then you should be aiming for the third. Now this isn't really that endgame, more mid-game, but you really shouldn't be buying that many things in the bamboo shop. I would say skip all the tools suck. Your end goal should be bamboo bag. It is technically worse for red and blue. It does help with white, but it has so much more capacity. You're going to need the bamboo gloves, and you're going to need the bamboo belt. That helmet is not worth it. Never buy that helmet. Alright, I'm going to explain what all the hives look like and how they usually play like. You can decide what color you want to be after you finish your brown and blackberry quest. But I will say this, red and blue is mostly for early game. White is typically later game. You're not going to want to run white early game. For blue, you're really just going to be stacking a bunch of wave bees. Why wave bees, you ask? Icicle bee sucks. Spawning icicles in random spots isn't that good. This is the #1 player's blue hive. They have a couple cloud bees for capacity. They're running event and special bees for convert. 8 water bees and a cold bee for the gifted bonus. For blue, you really just want to be stacking everything in one spot because ice makes you double your blue pollen. Alright, onto red. This is the #1 red player's hive. For red, you really just want to hit the whole field with as much fire as possible. You can see a majority of it's firework bees. You have some cloud bees for the capacity, wave bee for ability rate, these gifted hive bonus bees, and then 6 cold bees for the cold buff. That's really it for red. Onto white. Alright, for white hives, majority of it is really just going to be cloud bees. Recommend 3 flower bees if you're going to be running sound bee, 3 underlevel ones, and if you don't have underleveled, run 5. Now they usually just play by stacking a bunch of clouds and having your boosts at max because they don't fill up as quickly as red or blue would. Alright, that's everything for the hive colors. Next is hive skins and stickers. Yeah, here's how it works. For every flower you hit, you trigger 2 different rolls. You trigger a 1 in 500, which would be blueberries, strawberries, sunflowers, pine cones, and if you miss it, it goes down to a sticker roll. There's also another roll you can get, the sticker roll. It's a 1 in 12,000. You get a confirmed sticker. So there's 2 instances where you can get a sticker roll. Now, stickers come in 2 different forms. It can be a field-specific sticker, which boosts your pollen by 25%, or it can be something like a tool sticker, which usually boosts pollen or capacity or convert. Oh yeah, and stickers don't stack. Alright, onto hive skins. These have the same drop rate, just a lower chance to get them, because there's more stickers than there are hive skins, and you can get every hive skin in the game. It's just some are absurdly rare. I think that covers everything. On to my next tip, and probably one of my most important, codes. I'll be putting a couple on screen. These expire in a couple days. Make sure you use them soon. Now, if you're just starting out, these are a great way to get good resources and maybe even some early game boost. Now, if you haven't seen my code video already, all those codes in there are outdated. But in the pinned comment, I'll have all the newest codes, so you guys can just put that in, and that video will be in the top right. Now, this goes without saying, but you should always be completing your quest. The buffs they give are just absurd, and it's not like they're always so hard. You just have to gather in a couple fields or kill some mobs. And the rewards they give are actually insane. I recommend you stay a mixed hive until you beat 30 of Blackbear's quest and you finish up Brownbear's quest. Now, always kill your mobs. They have a chance of dropping amulets, which boosts you a lot, and they drop a lot of endgame mats that you're going to need for later. Now, you don't have to focus killing your mobs, just try killing them when you can. At least your spider, because he has the rarest amulet. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. The higher the level the mob you kill, the higher the chance of rarer things. That's why when I kill this level 7 ladybug, they drop me an amulet and 3 jams. Now that's not going to happen every time, but it's still really good. Here are the amulets you can get from each mob and their rolls. Caterpillar, best thing you'd want, depends, but you want 1.1 times capacity, and probably Pinecone or Loot Luck. If you're white, you want to go Pinecone, and then having a Loot Luck amulet is nice. After that is the Ladybug amulet, needed for red, obviously. You would want red pollen and raspberry. Fire pollen wouldn't be too bad either. Alright, onto Rhino Beetle. Needed for blue, you'd want blue pollen and bamboo pollen. Ice pollen would be alright too. Alright, onto Spider amulet. Best thing you can get for sure is white pollen, obsidian, and I guess bomb pollen. Alright, for lunar amulet, it really depends, but you really want a capacity bonus, obsidian pollen, and probably pollen. Ice pollen wouldn't be a bad alternative if you're blue. Now onto the star amulet. Now this is definitely the best amulet in the game. Comes common, rare, epic, legendary, or mythic. The stats gradually increase, and anything past common has a chance to get a stat called B attack. And legendary and mythic amulets get 4 rolls instead of 3. Now for the rolls, you definitely want capacity bonus, one of the colored pollens, pollen, and then convert rate. Star amulets have a 1 in 1,000 chance of dropping from starflowers. So if you break an epic starflower, you need to break 1,000 just for a chance to get one. Same thing goes for lunar amulets, but you need to break lunar starflowers. Alright, now that we just did the amulets, I'm going to explain how starflowers work. As soon as it hits nighttime, starflowers start spawning in throughout the night. From my experience, it can even spawn all the way up to 6 minutes in. And no matter what, a starflower is going to spawn in, and it gives you a good chance to get lunar charms. Alright, now I'll be honest, badges don't really matter that much, and you'll really be finishing them from quest. I wouldn't be focusing badges unless you're very close to finishing them, or you need tickets. Alright, on to one of the last tips. Your permanent boost will be one of the best upgrades you can get in this game. Whether it's cloud pollen, fire pollen, or even ice pollen, it's going to boost your pollen gain by a lot. I wouldn't be getting your permanent boost till you're around 30 to 40 bees, and you're going to really want like 25 to 28 of that bee with like 2 magnets. Otherwise, it's just going to take forever, and you don't want the grind to be tedious. Subscribe. Alright, if I missed anything, comment down below, and I'll reply, maybe even pin it. That's it.